Hey everyone, my name is Miss Mannering and I teach 4th grade ELA at Cypress Point University Elementary, and I'm so glad that you're watching today. So for this lesson, everyone needs a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you. Also, if you have a copy of The Whipping Boy that you picked up from the school or you have on your computer, you can pull that up now as well. If not, that's okay, but everyone should really have that paper and a pencil. I'm going to give you a few seconds to run and grab that. If you need to pause this video and come back when you're ready, you can absolutely do that too. So I know before this lesson, you have already read chapters 1 through 3 of The Whipping Boy and talked about those chapters with Miss Thomas. Today, we are going to learn how to find text evidence to support our claims. Now, some of you may be saying, Miss Mannering, what is text evidence? Well, text evidence are examples in the text that can help prove your point. And we'll learn what point we're proving in just a minute. And then today we will also practice planning and writing a paragraph. So today our job is to write a paragraph describing Prince Brad's character, include evidence from the text to support your answer. Now before we write about Prince Brad's character, we need to understand who is Prince Brad and what are his character traits. To do that, we are going to analyze his character. So that word analyze means to zoom in really close, almost like you have a magnifying glass and looking at Prince Brad to see exactly who is he. So we can look at 3 things to determine someone's character traits. We can look at their thoughts, their words, and their actions. Your thoughts are what you think inside your head. You don't tell it to anyone, but that's what you think inside your head. Your words are what you say out loud, and then your actions are things you do. So let's look at Prince Brad's thoughts, words, and actions and what they tell us about Prince Brad. So the first thing we're going to do is look at Prince Brad's thoughts. So I want you to go back in your chapter and see, what were some of Prince Brad's thoughts in those first 3 chapters of The Whipping Boy? Okay, now that you have looked at that, I want everyone to scream out really loud, what were some of his thoughts? Perfect. So I saw that Prince Brad in chapter 1, he wanted Jimmy to cry. That's a thought that he had. So I'm going to add that here. Wanted Jay to cry. Now notice that I did not write full sentences. I abbreviated Jimmy by just putting a J because I know that we're just taking notes here. There's no need to write full sentences right now. We'll do that later. So he wanted Jimmy to cry. I also remember in chapter 3, Prince Brad decided that he wanted to run away from the castle and he wanted for Jimmy to come with him. Now we know that in the Middle Ages, if they were caught, Prince Brad would not get in trouble, instead Jimmy would. And if he was caught for running away, he would be in a lot of trouble and he may even die because of it. So I think another thought we can add is that Prince Brad did not care if Jimmy was punished. He did not care that Jimmy was punished. Now before we move on to our words, we need to think about, what does this tell us about Prince Brad? The fact that Prince Brad wanted Jimmy to cry and did not care that Jimmy was punished, I think that this shows that Prince Brad is cruel. That's another word for really mean. It also may show that Prince Brad is selfish. He only cares about himself and he doesn't care about Jimmy. So I'm also going to add, let me back up, that Great job. So now we're going to go on to the words that Prince Brat says. What are some words that leaves Prince Brat's mouth? Now, I know in chapter 1, Prince Brat threatened to kick Jimmy out of the castle. That's something that he said. So he threatened to kick Jimmy out. And then I remember Prince Brat said that he didn't care about school and someone else could do it for him in chapter 2. Went over the line a little bit, that's okay. He said that someone else could do the work for him, and I abbreviated Prince Brat by just saying PB for Prince Brat. So now we need to think, what does this show us about Prince Brat? Well, he threatened to kick Jimmy out. I think that again shows that he is, we say cruel, we could also say he's a little rude. He said, if you don't cry, you're going back out to the streets. I don't know about you, but that's a little rude. And then when he once said someone else could do the work for him, I think that shows that Prince Brat is lazy. He does not want to do the work on his own. And then lastly, we have actions. So I'm going to have to bend down to write this, but what are some of the things that Prince Brat does? I know in chapter 1, Prince Brat pulls a prank on everyone at the royal feast. So I'm going to say he had a prank at the feast. This symbol right here stands for at, so prank at feast. And I also know in chapter 2, Prince Brat refused to do his schoolwork. So he did not do his work. So again, what do these actions show us about Prince Brat's character? So he pulled a prank at the feast. We may say that that shows that he is a troublemaker. And then whenever he did not want to do his work, again, I think that shows us that he is lazy. So we have analyzed Prince Brat. We've looked at his thoughts, words, and actions. And then we asked ourselves, what does this tell us about Prince Brat? And we came up with all of these character traits. He's cruel, he's selfish, he's rude, he's lazy, he's a troublemaker, and again, he's lazy. So now that we've done all of that, now it's our turn to actually plan out our paragraph. And we know before we write, we have to plan. So our question, just to review, write a paragraph describing Prince Brat's character, include evidence from the text to support your answer. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can do this on your paper at home and draw out my single paragraph outline that I know everyone in Monroe City Schools has used this at least once. So we are going to write TS for our topic sentence, and you can draw out a line for that. Then you're going to put your 4 details. In the bottom, I'm going to squeeze it in, we have our conclusion sentence and draw out your line. Now we know at school when we use this, there may be dotted lines right here. I'm not going to take up my time drawing the dotted lines. We know that those are only for note-taking purposes. So I need to figure out how exactly am I going to organize this. I know that I need to include his character and evidence from the text. So I think I'm going to include a character trait and then use evidence. A character trait and then have my evidence. So if you want to, you can write those notes out to the side. I just put character trait, evidence, character trait, evidence. So I know in my mind what those dotted lines are used for. So I think my two character traits I'm going to talk about today are the fact that Prince Brat was lazy and that he was a troublemaker. So when I go to write my topic sentence, I want to include that he's lazy and a troublemaker. There are 3 ways to have a great topic sentence. I want you, if you remember those from class, yell them out real loud. What are the 3 ways? The 3 ways to have a great topic sentence are to use a different sentence type, so to have a question, an exclamation, or a command, to have an appositive, or to use a subordinate conjunction like before, after, or if. I think today I'm going to use an appositive. So I'm going to say Prince Brat a main character in The Whipping Boy is lazy and a troublemaker. Great job. So you can use my topic sentence and copy that down now. If you want to use different character traits, you can change those up as well. But again, my topic sentence is Prince Brat, a main character in The Whipping Boy, is lazy and a troublemaker. I included who I'm talking about, Prince Brat, and that I'm going to be talking about his character. And that appositive that I used, a main character in The Whipping Boy, that describes Prince Brat. I'm going to go ahead and underline The Whipping Boy because that is a title of a book, and we know that we underline titles of books. I also capitalized that. So now we can finish our planning. So we know the first bullet point is going to be a character trait. My character trait is that we know that he is lazy. My evidence to prove that he's lazy is that he won't do schoolwork. Again, you can copy this down with me. If you have other character traits you want to include, you can include those now. So I have he's lazy and that he won't do schoolwork. Again, these are just notes. We'll turn them into sentences soon. My next character trait is that he is a troublemaker. What evidence do we have that he's a troublemaker? That's right, that he had pranks at the feast. Now, we're not done just yet. We need to go ahead and wrap up our paragraph with our conclusion statement. So I know that there are 3 ways that I like to finish out my paragraphs. You can either end it with in conclusion, in summary, or in closing. Today, I'm going to use in closing. So in closing, I'm writing full sentences on my solid line. Prince Brat is lazy and a troublemaker. Squeeze it in right there. Alrighty, so I've planned out my entire paragraph. If you need more time to do this, feel free to pause that video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so now we've planned, we're ready to go ahead and start writing. The first thing we do is indent. So I'm going to use my 3 fingers to indent and just copy down our topic sentence that we had before. So my topic sentence was Prince Brat This screen just doesn't like me, does it? Prince Brat, a main character in Prince Brat, the main character in The Whipping Boy, is lazy and a troublemaker. I indented, and after that, I'm starting at my red line. So now we're going to go to that first bullet point. He's lazy. I'm going to use the transition word first, since it's my first character trait. First, Prince Brat is lazy. Now I need to prove Prince Brat is lazy, and my evidence that I included in my planning was that he did not want to do his schoolwork. So I'm going to say Prince Brat refused to do his schoolwork. Make sure your period at the end of your sentence. Now my next claim is that Prince Brat is a troublemaker. So I'm going to say he is also a troublemaker. Now I need to include evidence to prove that he's a troublemaker. I'm going to say, for example, he played a prank and ruined the royal feast. Now we're not done just yet. Quickly, we're going to write our conclusion sentence. In closing, Prince Brat is lazy and a troublemaker. Okay, so that is the end of our lesson at home. Hopefully you followed along. If you need more time to write, that's just fine. Thank you guys for watching today.